Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today is the International Day of Friendship and we are having a YouTube hop organised by the lovely Natalie from Crafting Out Loud. So there's quite a lot of us on it, so we're trying to keep our videos short and sweet so that you can pop round everybody. So I have got this little thing that I picked up from the works and I thought I would use this. So I think the concept of this is that you have, that's your idea sheet, and then you have all the elements to make it. So what I thought I would do is I would just take out those 2 pages, but let's do our own thing. And I thought the sentiment "you are awesome" was perfect for a friendship card. So I'm actually going to use this idea bit there as my main topper, I think. Okay. And I thought we'll just have a play around and see what we can do with what we've got. Okay, so I've popped that out. Now I think because I'm on a square card, I am going to be very brave and chop this down with my scissors. I should really do it with my trimmer. Because I've got a straight line to follow, let's just go for it. Okay. So hopefully we can just see that although we have stuff there, feel free to be your own designer and do it your own way. So let's take all these elements out and we'll have a little play around, see what we can do with this. Now I'd actually pulled out this Victorian velvet but distress ink, but it's looking quite bright and fresh. I think I might want a brighter colour. We'll have a little look. Okay. Quite sure what we're doing, but I'm just going to, so let's see, oh these are, I was beginning to think they weren't pop out elements, but so let's just pop all this out. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm just going to pop it all out, and so you're not watching me do that, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got everything out and I have cut off all the pips because they would bother me. So this, a little flower was inside it and I've popped it out, but I'm now going to use that as a stencil. So sometimes, as I said, these kits are sort of designed for you just to sort of copy, peel and stick sort of thing, and if that's not your style, then that's okay. These kits can still be really useful for making a nice, what I'm planning on doing is making a real mixed media sort of soft vintage card with this. And the only extras I'm going to use are, I've got some distress inks, a little bit of gesso and some thread. Because I'm thinking that's probably something that a lot of us will have anyway. So I'm just used this to make some little circles. As I said, just to give a bit of interest to the card, so that it's not just completely plain. Now I want to give this sort of, as I said, a sort of soft vintage shabby chic look. Actually I think I'm going to just let's quickly edge around this so that we're tying everything together, and then we'll rough it up a little bit. Yeah, so as I said, sometimes I know that when you're starting crafting these are really useful, and everything depends on where you are in your crafting journey. I have got masses and masses of kits like that, like Kanban kits and stuff, that were my starter point, and I very rarely pull them out now because now I like getting inky and messy and stamping and colouring, and then I've sort of moved on from that to now sketching my own. So it's like we're all on a journey. And so sometimes you can look at all of that stuff and go, oh, I don't really use it now. But sometimes it's maybe just sort of thinking outside the box with it a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do today. Plus, really great because you've got everything that's sort of already coordinated already. And I know we've already got the sentiment on the topper, but I thought it might be quite quirky to have it twice. Okay, and then there was this little strip here, which I thought could be quite nice, so we'll get that about the same. Put it on there, yeah. So hopefully this will just help you, or I'm saying I'm an expert because I'm not, but sometimes just seeing what somebody else does how somebody else does something sparks your own creativity. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or teach you or anything like that, because I know that you're all perfectly capable yourself. You don't need me at all. But sometimes sometimes just sharing inspiration makes us, yeah. Oh, I've lost my words. It just kind of maybe sparks an idea that we wouldn't have thought of by ourselves. And I know that happens to me all the time with this, because it's like I watch just as much YouTube. I watch all you guys as well, so we all inspire each other. It's maybe about sharing ideas. Okay, I kind of want that over to the side a little bit. Okay, now what have we got? What have we got? Do I want to use, should we use a corner? Yeah, so it's just kind of using this ever so slightly differently. I'm thinking that what I might do as well is just edge round the card with this as well. I'm just trying to maybe work out my layout a little bit and see how we go on with that. Just sort of get a rough idea of what I am doing. So we've got all these little elements. They're so quirky. I like them. I'd sort of forgotten about this, but as I said, Natalie had asked us if we could to try and not make our videos too long, because there's a lot of us, and obviously the whole point of us doing the collabs is for you to, you know, introduce you to maybe other crafters that you might not be aware of, and so it's nice for you to pop along and see everybody that's in it, but it'd be a bit taxing if it meant you were sitting there for 10 hours, you know, so we're trying to keep it sort of quick, and there we go. So I think that's probably going to be the basis of it, I think. I don't think this one's working for me. Right, so yeah, let's get going with this. What I am going to do is just take a quick photograph of that, and I'll come back when I'm ready for the next stage. Okay, so one of my favourite ways of making what we've got a bit more interesting is to add dimension to the flowers. I've already done those ones, but this one, as you can see, I've just cut into the shape of that there. And what I like to do is put it on the back and shape up so that we have it like that. Then turn it round and then push in to the centre. And all of a sudden, the flowers just become that little bit more interesting, I find, just by giving them a little bit of extra dimension. So I've done that to all of my flowers. Now I've decided, I think I do want to just put a very light bit of ink around the edge of this, because it's just looking a bit too white, but I don't want it too overpowering. So I'm just lightly going to ink round the edges of this, like so. And then we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to probably be using some glue and some 3D foam to complete all of that. Right. Okay, so let's get this stuck down. Now the reason I take a photograph is because you can guarantee as soon as I've kind of got a composition that I'm happy with and then take it away to stick it down, it'll never go back the same. So I always take a little photograph, which I probably should be referring to now, but I'm not, I'm just kind of going ahead with it. And yeah, so that's why I take a wee photograph, because it just reminds me of the composition I like, because you can guarantee that as soon as you come away from it, the composition isn't going to be the same as what you had. Okay, so I've got my photograph for reference there, just to kind of see what I did. And what I'm going to do is pop a bit of 3D foam on the back of this. Now because I've sort of got green against green, I'm going to go with this pink thread, and literally I'm just going to grab a whole load of it. I think thread is such a lovely, delicate way of adding a bit of texture. So I'm literally going to squiggle a bit there and stick it down. Like that. It'll stick down properly once you put the main element on top anyway. But yeah, I think I've used thread in a few things. I actually got that tip from, is it Marta, I can never say her second name, Marry Me Small Arts. She uses thread quite a lot on hers. She's got an amazing channel, but I think probably all are aware of her channel because it's incredibly popular. I watch it all the time. Right, so let's pop that there. As I said, we've just added a little bit of... So, I've got my little pink strip here that we'll put down. Okay. Add a bit of glue to that one. So, who will you be sending a card to for International Friendship Day? I think you should send cards all the time. Who needs a special day to celebrate it? Just a hello, thinking of you can make such a difference to a person, can't it? Right, so I'll put my sentiment bitties down. Like so. Okay. So we've kind of got the sentiment twice, but I think that sort of adds to the quirkiness of it all. Okay, and I've definitely moved that further over than I did in the original, but you know, I'm just going to have to work with it now. So the whole idea of having my photograph has made absolutely no difference whatsoever. Well done, Julia. Okay, so I think we'll put a bit more, get some green thread this time because we're going against the pink flowers. So let's get some green thread. And I do have glittery thread here because it is quite nice, but honestly, any cheap thread, you know these like little sewing kits you get from the pound shop? Something like that, anything. It's just to add a little bit of texture. So we normally all have a little bit of something. Now, I'm not bothered too much that I'm covering up the sentiment a little bit. That's one advantage of having it there twice, is that we can sort of go to town. Right, that's a bit too much thread going on there, but that's fine. I'll just snip it away. Okay, I'm just going to actually stop referring to that because I've gone so far off it now that I think we're past that now. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I had this as well, didn't I? Okay. Let's pop that down there. Need to build this side up a little bit because we've gone over it on that side. Hope this isn't too long. There's me saying it's not too long, and now I'm just getting carried away. I have no idea. I've just literally finished filming my... Oh, I can't tell you that. Because this will be coming out first. I've started filming something else, and I had a time limit for it. Boy, was that stressful. I've never done that before. I was like, oh, wow. But maybe I'm in the flow of it now. Maybe I'm in the flow of going fast. Or maybe it's just like, oh no, I've already done fast. Let's just faff about like you normally do, because that's where you're comfortable. Who knows? Okay. I'm going to put one there. I'm not taking the pip off that one for some reason. Yeah, so this, you saw me putting that all together, and for no avail, because it's actually completely different to what we were before. But never mind. It's fine. It still looks okay, I think. Does it look okay? What do we think, peoples? What do we think? Yeah, put that over there. Kind of mimics the topper then as well. Okay. A bit of glue left over there. I'll pop that in there. Okay, so I think what I am going to do is grab a brown pen, and we'll do a bit of like sort of doodle and faux stitching around here just to kind of even the card up a little bit, and then I'll get the gesso out and soften it all up. I'm just wondering whether maybe yeah, hang on, let's make this work. Let's have a little bit of something else going on. It's all got a bit too heavy on that side for me now. I'm just needing to pull it back over, so if I can just, am I going to manage to lift it a little bit? Probably. I'm going to destroy it a little bit by the sounds of it, looks of it, but you know. There we go. Okay, I don't want it quite that long, so we'll just tear that bit off there. And then we can maybe layer another another bit of that there. Actually, having a bit of ripping and tearing is good. It's going to aid the sort of shabby chic thing that I was going for. And then actually I'm just looking that we've got some of this pink. Let's see if we can do something with this. What I might do is I'm going to tuck a little bit under there, I think. Crafting on the hoof, this is called. That's the usual for me though, isn't it? Right, I'm going to just tuck a bit under there so that we don't sort of randomly have a kind of torn edge thing going on here that's not anywhere else. Maybe we can layer a bit of pink into that as well. So I really am using sort of all my scraps on this. And hopefully, as I said, we've kind of got something very different from what it's intended, but we've had all the basic elements there to do our own thing, which is quite nice. I'm just hearing the rain out there. That's quite amazing. It sounds very, very torrential. I can't see it because I'm in the loft and I don't have a Velux or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah. Do I want that? Yeah, let's have a little bit. Sorry. Decisions. Now you're just sitting watching me faff. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to lift this bit up. To put it over. Right, now I need to disguise that straight edge thing that we've got going on. What do I? Oh, I had my little dot things. Got these. Maybe we can sort of soften those hard edges with it. Yeah, okay. Right, now I'm going to go and get my pencil, or my pen, and we'll do some stitching details. I'm sorry, Natalie, I have a feeling that this has gone on probably longer than it should. Okay, so I have my vintage photo distress marker, and I am just using the fine end, and I am going to do some of my faux stitching round here. So I have used a bit more than what I'd said, but hey ho. An extra pen I think we can live with. That's not the end of the world, is it? We've all got pens in the house as well, I'd imagine. Might not be distress ink pens, a normal biro would do, pencil, anything. Let's just add a little bit of stitching detail in, just quickly frames it again. I just draw a little circle and pull a line from it. It's not straight, it's not accurate to me, it's kind of looks like faux stitching, and the reason I have it all joined together is I don't know, I think to me it looks more like it's stitched when I do it this way than when I sort of do dots and dashes. But I know that's a very popular look and it's nice in its own right, but when I want a hand stitch look I can go for that. I use sort of dots and dashes when I'm looking for a different look. Okay, so now I am just going to get my gesso and do a little bit of dry brushing. Again, just to sort of, not necessarily tie it together, but just sort of soften it and give it a wee vintage, more of a vintage look. The secret to dry gessoing is in the name, it's dry. So you don't want too much on your brush, and also if you hold your brush further up so that it's very loose and then just sort of flick, you'll find you'll get a much softer look. It can be a bit harsh if you're kind of like this, it can look more like you've painted it. So not a lot, up high and flick, and then we kind of get a bit of a softer look. And I'm not the best at dry brushing, to be honest. It's something that I'm still needing to work on a little bit, but that's what I've discovered so far, that just holding the brush quite high and keeping the brush quite dry makes a difference. So I'm going to put a little bit here. I want to be careful as I go down the sentiments because I don't really want to lose them too much. I have a little bit there, but I can wipe it. So just, oops, I did actually want quite a bit on that because it's quite dark in comparison to the rest of it. Okay, so hopefully that's just sort of blended everything together, and as I said, we've kind of got something that could have been very crisp and manufactured looking slightly more like handmade, handcrafted. Right, so I'm just going to now do some white splashes. I'm going to do them with my gesso, seeing as I'm just trying to stick with limited products. So I'm just going to grab a bit of water and put that into there, like so. I'm just trying to grab something that we can cover my sentiment with, and then we can do the splashes. There we go. Oh, I do think white splashes just, I don't know, they make me happy. Finishes everything off perfectly and looks really handmade. Okay, so I'll just clear my desk. Okay, that's my card there for International Friendship Day. I think sending a card telling somebody that they're awesome is perfect for any friend. Hope you've enjoyed watching me make this. If you have, please do consider liking and subscribing. Don't forget to check everybody else that's in this collab. They are an amazing bunch of talented ladies. And if you've enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing. And I'll be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.